How are you all doing? Oh my gosh, my voice is so deep. Oh, I feel like Froggy from the Little Rascals. The reason why my voice is so deep is because I have spent the past 13 hours straight training this property that I'm at in Connecticut right now. It's fine, it's just my voice is a little bit tired because I've been on stage all day, and that's fine. That's what I'm good at. That's why I'm a performer. So yeah, I'm here in Connecticut. I've been here all week. So that's why we've got the hotel room for the background. You know, normally I've got my my dining room, but this time it's the hotel room. Just like I think last week I also, where was I last week? I was in Snoqualmie. So yeah, I was in Washington. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay. So anyways, girl, let me tell you about this week on Dancing for Relevancy. Before we get into it, though, let me tell you the trouble that I had watching the show. So, as I'm trying to not look fat. Okay, here we go. So, as you know, oh, did I cut myself? It looks, the way that the light is showing, it looks like I've got a red, like I cut myself like a scab, but I don't. I just got those rosy cheeks. My best friend Brandon Baker would probably be all about it because he loves him some boys with rosy cheeks. One time we were on our way to this club called Tiger Heat. We had parked and we were walking up to the club, and he said, "God, I really wish I could have rosy cheeks." So I turned to him and then I smacked him across the face and then I hit him the other way. And I said, "You're welcome." He was just so dumbstruck. He was like, "Yeah, yeah, bitch, I did." Anyways, love you, Brandon. Okay, so this week I had a really difficult time watching the show because the website that, okay, so yeah, so it's in Australia. It doesn't air in the United States, like at all. And as opposed to the other shows, whether it's Dancing with the Stars in Ireland or Strictly Come Dancing in the UK, both of those are relatively easy to find it on YouTube after the fact because they air the whole thing on YouTube. So you can find them. However, Dancing with the Stars Australia does not have full episodes on YouTube, so I have to look for it. So the website that I use to, and not every website carries Australia streaming. Like there's a website called Stream Guru that I used to go to. That carries a lot of the European channels, so it carries Ireland and the UK, but it doesn't carry Australia. So anyways, the website that I went to is called first1tv.net. It's now out of business. Well, I don't think it's out of business, but they said we've discontinued the streaming service for now, reopening soon. So maybe it'll be back up soon, but it is that like left me in a panic. So I ended up buying a VPN. This is kind of like my little the part of the show where I give you a little bit of a commercial for the VPN that I bought because it's actually pretty good. It's called Tunnel Bear, and you can get it in the App Store, in the Apple App Store, whether it's iPad or iPhone. You'll be able to get the Tunnel Bear app. You can also find it online. Just go to tunnelbear.com. I don't know if there's an Android app or not. There probably is. It's probably in the Google Play Store. But anyways, it's pretty good. I was able to VPN to Australia and then watch the recorded version of the show. Now, this is the good thing about this is that, I unfortunately I did have to shell out $10 for it, but I am now able to see everything on channel 10. So I now have access to 10play.com.au, and I actually have the ability to watch a bunch of stuff in Australia. And so I watched the whole episode of Dancing with the Stars. So I'm good. I'm caught up. I'm super good. Okay. So let's get right into it. And first of all, I want to say how much I love doing this little program. Whether anyone watches it or not, I just love talking about this show. I love Dancing with the Stars in all of its incarnations. And in fact, I really am enjoying getting to know the pros of the various countries, whether it's the UK, Ireland, Australia, or America, you know what's interesting is that they had a version of Dancing with the Stars that aired in Japan, and it was called Shall We Dance, because there was a movie called Shall We Dance about, I want to say it was about Richard Gere and Jennifer Lopez, I think they were in it, and she played a dance teacher that taught him how to dance, and he became like a really fierce dancer. I think, I'm not sure. But anyway, because of that movie, they called the show in Japan, they called it Shall We Dance, and it only lasted one season. What? What? I know, it's disappointing. All right, so, sorry, I got a little bit of an itch. Okay, so Dancing with the Stars Australia. So I watched it this past week. Now Grant Denyer, who is the little mini host with Amanda Byram, right? Amanda Byram. God, I need to Amanda. Yeah, I think it's Amanda Byram. Amanda Keller. God damn it. I always do that. Amanda Keller. I said it right last week. So Amanda Keller, who FYI, that bitch is fucking fierce because they had a reporter from Studio 10 who, it's the channel, the new channel that the show airs on. His name is Scott Tweedy. Scott Tweedy. Like, is he the name of the Australian spunk that's on Price is Right, the male model on Price is Right? I know he's Australian. He looks just like this guy. Wait, hold on. Let's look up Scott Tweedy. No, it's not. I just looked him up. He's never done. It's unfortunate. Okay, great. All right. So, moving on. So, he was a guest host. He was okay. He was decent. He was good. I mean, he wasn't even bad. Like, there are some times when they have guest hosts, and I'm just like, but honestly, the best guest host was last week was Denise Scott. That bitch was fierce. They should have had her come back this week. She was absolutely hilarious. But Amanda Keller was fierce this week because she basically did the show by herself, and she could. She could do it. She was great. She was fantastic. So in addition to the hosts, we also had a new guest judge this week. Now, I'm very familiar with the guest judge because I saw her when she won Dancing with the Stars in the United States. Her name is Bindi Irwin. Yes, Miss Thing. I think she won season 21 because we just finished season 27. So yeah, I think she won season 21 with Derek, and she deserved it. She was fierce. I will say though, her judging skills could use a little work. She can obviously dance better than she can judge. Or no, I don't know about judge because her scores were pretty on point. Then she can give critiques. She might not have wanted to hurt someone's feelings, or she was a little too overly nice. But she is adorable, and they just can't get enough of her. And I couldn't either. I thought she was fantastic. She was great. And it was nice to have a second Australian, and it was an Australian woman with Sharna, and because Tristan's Irish and Craig's from the UK, so, or maybe he was born in Australia, whatever. He's got that English accent, darling. That's what he calls everyone, darling. It's cute. I like it. Okay. So, this week was the judges team up challenge. Okay, so this was the theme for this week. So basically, everyone got to do one dance, right? And as of now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 couples. There's 6 couples left. We're almost done. So tomorrow next week will be 5 couples, and then after that's the final. So let's see, tomorrow's 5. So this is the quarterfinals. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Damn. All right. So we have the first couple. So they all dance one time, and then 2 couples go with a certain judge, right? So, and I don't know how that was decided, who goes with what judge or what groups are together. I don't know. I think, and this is, again, this is purely speculation on my part. I don't know if it's true or not, but I suspect that the judges picked who they wanted to dance for, and they probably, God, I hate to say this. Don't kill me, darling, Craig, but I think it's actually based on, seniority, like who's the oldest, right? And Craig is the oldest of Craig, Sharna, and Tristan. So Craig chose the 2 best dancers in the show, Courtney Act and Jimmy Rees. He had them dance with him. So they were pretty fierce. So the judges come, they teach a routine. They have everyone, including the judge, perform in the routine. Oh, I got to talk about Tristan's routine though when that comes up, because that was mighty fine. He looked nice. That was the best I have ever seen Tristan look. He looked so hot. Okay, anyways, so back to the thing. So they each perform, and that's why Bindi's there, is because the judges can't judge their own dance. So there's the 3 judges, and so because there's Bindi as well, will judge the dance, and then the scores get added to the other people's scores as well. Okay, so he picked the 2 best ones, right? And then Sharna picked, Constance and Samuel, and they were the last group. And then the middle one was Tristan, who was real nice, and he had He had Curtly and Jet. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about those people in a minute. But okay, let's talk about the actual show. So first things first, everyone started off dancing, doing a routine. The first people to perform was my boy Jimmy Giggles. I love him. I love him. I love him. And Alexandra, and they did a Paso Doble to Natural by Imagine Dragons. Now, I don't know how they pick the songs in Australia, but I know they have to have. If it's anything like it is in America, the dancers at least have to have some say in what dance because it didn't really. It wasn't that paso-y of a song, and the paso doble that they performed, the choreography wasn't that paso doble ish, right? So I mean, they ended up they were okay. I mean, it was all right. It was okay. It was good. They ended up getting 25, so everyone gave them a 6 except Tristan gave them a 7. Um, so that was a little bit disappointing because I felt like Alexandra sort of let Jimmy down. She didn't really choreograph, with the song choice too. I don't know. Maybe she didn't have any choice in the song, and the producers chose that for them. But it was okay. Next was Courtney Act and Josh, and they did this beautiful Viennese waltz to "If I Ain't Got You" by Alicia Keys. Some people want it all. That whole song. It was gorgeous. Gorgeous, phenomenal, flawless, beautiful. She had on this gorgeous red gown. You know who she looked like? And they told her this on the show. They said she looked like the dancing emoji. And then she did the pose that the woman does. It was pretty fucking fierce. I was like, yes, bitch. I'm all sitting here just laughing. And of course, it's like 11:30 at night. And I was just cackling. So I'm like, okay, whatever. People in the hallway right now. You can hear them. Okay, so you know what their number reminded me of? It reminded me of the movie Evita, the one that Madonna won the Golden Globe for. And how oh, you can't really. I look stoned, but I'm not stoned. I just took a shower, so whenever I shower with my contacts in, my eyes look a little bit red. So I promise you, I'm not stoned. I'm not high, anything. I just have irritated eyes, but they look really fucking blue though. Anyways, so it reminds me of that scene in the movie Evita where Che and Ava actually. Now, this is something they don't do on stage. It was just done for the movie where Che and Evita dance a waltz together because the waltz for Ava and Che, that's the name of the song. They normally sing at each other and then sing out to the audience, and they do their movements, but they never touch. So they're always so this time they did that. They basically were doing that, and then at the very end, he grabs her and they just waltz across. And it was so beautiful and gorgeous, and that's totally what reminded me of Courtney Act. So I just felt like sharing. Okay. All right. So next we have. So wait. So they ended up getting 34 fucking points. Okay. So Craig and Sharna gave them 8s, and then Bindi and Tristan gave them 9s. So that was pretty fucking impressive. They did pretty good. So 34 out of 40 points is pretty fucking good. Okay, so then they had Jet and Lily, and they did a Paso Doble to "Take Me Out" by Franz Ferdinand. Okay, so Jet's lucky because I feel like the competition is starting to get away with him a little bit. You know, there always reaches a point where someone does about as good as they could do. They're not getting any better, and the competition is getting harder and harder, and they're just not going to be able to do it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to listen to these people in the hall. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me when I used to do my show. What was it? Angel Sudsy Recap. I can't remember the name of my own show. When I used to do Angel Sudsy Recap, and I lived in my old apartment, and there was constantly people screaming and crying and fighting and all that shit going on all the time. It was so annoying. In my new apartment, you could hear a pin drop, and I love it. And there's people in every single apartment, but we're all quiet. I love it. I'm super quiet because I'm never home. It's the quickest way for me to be quiet. All right. So, anyways, the next people, oh yeah, so Jet. So Jet is, I feel like the competition is sort of getting away from Jet a little bit. Spoiler alert, he didn't go home this week. but I don't know how much longer he'll be able to hold out because I think next week might be the week. We'll see. We'll see what the Australian people think. It's always a crapshoot with these foreign countries because you never know. Like the Irish people, they fucking had Mairead as their winner, and don't get me wrong, no disrespect to Mairead, but she didn't really deserve that trophy. That deserved to be Johnny's trophy, or if anything, Cleona's trophy. But I digress. So they did this Paso Doble to Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand, and it was good up until there's a point where the music changes, where it starts off really rocky and then it goes dun 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 dun. So up until that until that happened, it was good, and then it just kind of ran out of steam a little bit. And that was musical. That had nothing to do with either Jet or Lily. They just had a bad piece of music. So, again, I don't know if they chose that or not, but it's super annoying, because they need to, it kind of reminds me of the earlier seasons of Dancing with the Stars when they would choose pop songs to dance to. And not every song necessarily has to be a pop song that everyone's familiar with. You know what I mean? All right, so then we had Constance and Gustavo, and they did a rumba to Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran. And what was interesting is that she was talking about how, first of all, I have to say, did I not call that she would still be on the show? I told you she would still be there. She's going to make the final four. I promise you. She's pretty fucking fierce. And what's hilarious is that she doesn't think she's that good. She does give a little too much sometimes, but like I said, it is so much easier to try to tone down a performance than to. There we go. Whew. Sorry, lost connection there for a second. That's one of the joys of live streaming. Anyways, sorry. All right, so they did this rumba to Thinking Out Loud, and they showed a video clip of Ed Sheeran learning to rumba for the video. He ended up doing a rumba for the video, and he was actually not that bad. I wouldn't mind seeing Ed Sheeran on Strictly Come Dancing. I think he'd be pretty good. I don't know if he would ever do it, but he would. Whoa, hold up. Pause real quick. Let's talk about Strictly. I saw on YouTube, there's a clip on YouTube of a certain God of Thunder doing Foxtrot on Dancing with the Stars Australia. And this was an early season. I'm talking it had to be like maybe season 2 or season 3. Like it was one of the first seasons of that show airing in Australia. And that might have been before it even came to America. And first, because he was real young looking. But you know what? He was also real fine back then too. He looked so hot. Oh my God. I was like, you know, puddle of my own drool. Can't help it. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, that was great. Foxtrot, Chris Hemsworth on YouTube. Look it up. It's great. So they did this rumba. Here's the thing about the rumba. She chose that dance because they told her that she needs to step up her choreography because her choreography is so simple. So she chooses rumba, and I've said this a billion times. I don't know how many more times I can say it. Rumba features the boy. So if she was a male star, that would be great. But she's a female star. So although she was very pretty and beautiful, and her choreography has, I guess, sort of stepped up from last week, it really featured Gustavo. Gustavo was the main star of the number, which he should be because he's the man. But I felt like if I was told I needed to step up my choreography, the last thing I would do is pick a dance that features my partner more than me. You know what I mean? That didn't seem like a smart choice creatively. Right? Now, I'm sure she probably doesn't know. She's not familiar with the various dances and what they are, what they mean. So I just don't think it was that smart of a move. But because, they did end up getting 28. So everyone gave them a 7. So that's not that bad. I mean, she did score better than Jimmy Giggle, which kind of surprised me. But again, Jimmy's choreography, again, not his fault, but his choreography was a little bit simple and not that Paso-ish. And everything that I'm saying really was said by Craig when he was judging the show, and he's right 100%. Bindi, on the other hand, was like, "Oh my God, I can see your friendship. I can see everything. It's so lovely, and you're doing such a good job." And that was pretty much all she would say to like everyone. It's like, "Yeah, you get our friendship. We get it. What's our fucking score?" Okay, so then after Constance and Gustavo, there was Kurtley, who is still in the competition. Can you believe that? And Siobhan, and they did a foxtrot to Mac the Knife by Bobby Darin. It was cute. It was cute, but it was real simple. Like, it was pretty pedestrian. So I was like, okay. And then, so they got the lowest score of the evening. They got 19 points. So Craig gave them a 4, and everyone else gave them a 5. Excuse me. So it's really sort of like, okay, all right, Craig, you're right. Everything you say is correct. It's 100%. But he was actually, what's funny about Craig is that he is way nicer in Australia than he was in England, because he started off in Australia being just as rude and mean as he is in England, and they were not having him. The people, Australian people fucking hated him. And I was like, you got to ease into it, babe. You can't go from 0 to 100. You got to kind of go through 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, ease into the meanness. Don't start off mean right away, because people are not ready for that. I'm telling you. Okay, so then finally yeah, they got 19. So the last people to dance were Samuel and Georgia. Samuel is not bad, and in fact, I think the final 4 are going to be Samuel, Courtney, Jimmy, and Constance. I think those will be the final 4. So Samuel, Georgia did a Viennese waltz to Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, and it was good, but they had a lot of rise and fall, and the rise and fall is actually for a ballroom waltz. They do rise and fall. Viennese waltz should not have rise and fall. It should all be steady. So that was the one thing, and Craig said the same thing. So it's nice that you have a judge that actually agrees with you. Oh, speaking of, let's talk about America real quick. For Dancing with the Stars America, Carrie Ann has kind of been talking to the press a little bit about the show, and she said that she's going to be much more difficult with the performer. She's always been the lift police, but now she's going to grade a lot harsher than her fellow than she has in the past. She's always given kind of a little bit. She kind of overscored everyone. That won't happen anymore. So I'm curious to see what that's going to be like this year. There haven't been anyone announced for this fall season, but I don't even know if they've even started talking to anybody. I hope they have. I hope they have a couple people lined up already, because there's people that are just need to be on that show. I went to a General Hospital event. When was my General Hospital event? It was this past Saturday. So it was in Tempe, Arizona, and it was this past Saturday. And Chad Duell, who plays Michael Corinthos on General Hospital, he was there. And I wanted to ask him a question, but everyone else was asking questions, so I really did. But I'll probably see him at the convention in June. And my question this would have been my question for him, because he really wants to do Dancing with the Stars. And I say they need to let him. They let his co-star Kelly Monaco, and she won. Thank you. So I think that they need to have him on it. And my question would be, who would you have for your pro? Who would you pick to be your pro partner if you could pick your partner? And what type of dance would you do first? So I'd be very curious to see what he has to say about that. So if I ever do ask him that question, I'll let you all know. Okay, so anyways, they scored 29 points. So Craig scored Samuel and Georgia a 7. Bindi and Sharna scored them an 8. And in this one, it was really interesting because their lowest score came from Tristan. Tristan normally doesn't do the low scores. He's either in line with Sharna, or he might even give more of a score than Sharna. But this time, he was the lowest. He gave him a 6. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, Tristan, all right. Okay, so then it came time for the judge's choice, where everyone had to do a number, right? So the first one was Craig and Courtney and Jimmy, right? And then their partners were in there too. And they did Easy Street from Annie, the musical Annie, and Craig played Mrs. Hannigan. He didn't look half bad, actually. Like, he looked pretty decent, as a woman. And what was they did the number was fantastic. Now they said that their style was jazz slash musical theater. I don't think there was that much jazz in it, to be honest with you. Musical theater, 100%. There was a lot of character dancing in that particular number. Jazz, I don't necessarily know if I would call it a jazz routine. It was a cute routine, and everyone acted the fuck out of their parts. Um, but what was hilarious was after it was over, Scott Tweedy, is that his name, Scott Tweedy? Yep, Scott Tweedy asked Courtney Act. He was like, so, do you think there's room on Dancing with the Stars for two drag queens? And she looked at the camera dead on and said, no. Again, cracking up laughing. I fucking love Courtney Act. She's so fierce. She is so fierce. It's so nice because I remember she lived in Los Angeles for a little while and she did a lot of like drag and stuff. This was before she was even on Drag Race. And it's nice to see her being so successful. She is a really, really phenomenal representation that gay America, well, not gay America, gay Earth has, because she teaches everyone and she's so friendly and so talented. She's just phenomenal. I think the sun shines out of her ass. I think she's fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about, okay, so they ended up, Sharna gave them a 9, Bindi gave them a 10, and then Tristan gave them a 9. So they ended up getting 28 points. So that was nice. I mean, that was pretty good. Kurtley and Jet danced with Tristan next, and they did a tango paso doble fusion. Here's the thing. First of all, Tristan looked fucking hot. He looked HOTT hot. Hot. Incredible. He looked, so they did something where it was kind of like, even though it was tango paso doble, they did this sort of dance where, excuse me, where Tristan was basically kind of like the god of thunder, right? Or even Odin, and he was sitting on a throne and the other two couples were, dancing around and doing their cape work and all that shit. The tango bit didn't strike me as being that much tango. Paso Doble was definitely in there. That for sure. You could totally see that. I don't know if there's that much tango, but honestly, neither Kurtley nor Jet were that fabulous. The best part of that routine was Tristan. He was great. And unfortunately, he got the lowest score. So he got 25. So Craig gave them an 8, same as Bindi, and then Sharna gave them a 9. Okay. So then finally it was Team Sharna, and she chose Constance and Samuel, and they did a jive to Fishies by the Cat Empire. It was okay. It wasn't that bad. They ended up getting a 28. Craig and Bindi gave them a 9, and then Tristan actually gave them a 10. I think that was a little bit generous on Tristan's part. I don't think that they deserved a 10, to be honest with you. I think it should have been 3 9s for sure. 10, not so much 10, but still. So they had the bottom 2 show up this week, and the judges, because this is a judge-centric show, which I think this was a genius idea, the judges decide who stays and who goes home this week. So they had a dance-off, right? So they announced the bottom 2, and the bottom 2 were Kurtley and Siobhan, no surprise, and Jimmy and Alexandra. Now that was shocking. I was like, Jimmy Giggle came in the bottom 2. Now again, I don't necessarily know if he was in the bottom 2. The show said the bottom 2 are, and they always say this every week, and they always say, they might not have gotten the least amount of votes. The lowest did get on there, but maybe the second one might be. I think producers might have done that to kind of stir things up a little bit. So I'm not 100% sure that he deserved. He definitely didn't deserve it. But here's the thing. The judges voted who they want to save. So the first person they asked was Craig. And Craig's like, I want to save Jimmy and Alexandra. And then Sharna said, I want to save Jimmy and Alexandra. So they didn't even ask Tristan because they'd sent Kurtley home. So Kurtley's gone. And honestly, Tristan said, I would have saved Jimmy and Alexandra too. So I believe that the producers did that on purpose because they didn't expect Kurtley to be so popular and to still be on the show. And I guarantee you that there's no way on God's green earth that any of the judges would have saved Kurtley over Jimmy. There is no fucking way. So they were like, yeah, we need to put Jimmy in the bottom so that they can really send him home. So I'm very curious how that goes. So if my calculations are correct, now my calculations could be incorrect because in England, no, in England they did 4, but in Ireland they did top 3, so they added an extra week so that only 3 people did the show dance, or as we call it in America, the freestyle. So in Australia, they might do it the same way. They might even do a top 2. But if it's the same as it is in England and America, it's gonna be top 4. And so that means next week is the semifinal. And what's interesting is that next week is also trio night. I love trio night. They don't have trio night in England. I don't know why. They certainly didn't have trio night in Ireland, but they have it in America, and I'm looking forward to it in Australia. It's going to be really great. Um, so yeah, so that's pretty much it. That is my show. So I'm definitely looking forward to next week's show. I will. I might be back here in Connecticut next week. So if I'm here, I'll do another live stream from my room. And thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Angel Benton. You can also hit that subscribe button on your YouTube channel to get my videos sent to your email inbox every single day. And you can also hit that little bell, because that's a notification sign. If you hit that bell, it'll tell you next time I live stream, so you can watch me live and interact with me, ask me questions. I'm more than happy to do that. Or you can watch the videotape recording afterwards like most people do, and that's fine too. That's totally okay. And you can also feel free to give this video a thumbs up. Alrighty.